Hi Pisces, and welcome to your May 2023 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your month ahead. I'm really looking forward to filming this reading for you all. We have a lot to talk about as Saturn is really getting into your sign. Now moving into May, we have a little bit to go off of there and a bit of experience that we can start talking about relating to Saturn being in your sign. And as usual, I'll be doing some intuitive messages for you, followed by a week-to-week tarot forecast and an extended reading on Patreon, linked below. Okay, Pisces, intuitively for you, there's going to be a bit of like a testing period, either for you or from you, okay? So you might have to kind of like do a bit of a test here, like are people supporting your best interests? Is there a grudge at play? Is there like a jealousy or envy construct going on? Are people there for you when you're struggling at all? Are people as loyal to you as you are to them? And also, is there like more support for you if you say that you're struggling than if you say you're doing well? It can go the other way too. Like I'm seeing one of the things that's happening a lot with Pisces right now is like all of a sudden getting stronger or getting more like materially secure, having more business success, having more worldly success, possibly for some of you with Saturn in your sign, of course. And then the previous people who were once like kinship to you when you were struggling or when you were having like more of a impoverished situation, not maybe being happy to see you do better, or begrudging support or something like that could be coming in May as well for you to start to refilter the presences in your life. So filtration systems of all types in the month of May. The Temperance card, the Page of Cups reversed. That's an interesting combination along with the Nine of Swords, where it's like, oh my gosh, I just don't know if I want to allow this in my life or if I need to filter this. I don't know what I can tell someone, what I shouldn't tell them. I don't know how much of my, personal information that I can trust being known by someone else in my life. The trust concept is going to be something that I think faces challenge for you in this month, as you might see that right when you like bare your soul to someone, or right when you tell them about like something that's really important to you, it doesn't like sit right with them, or it doesn't basically sort of signal them in the way that they need based on their own need for a situation to be a certain way. So for example, having someone who doesn't want you to expand your business. They want you to still be in that small place and to be in that struggling place because that's more resonant for them, and maybe they're going through that. There are going to be some Pisces people who take one for the team and hold themselves back and deny their own further progress because everybody else is there. Okay. Do you want to be one of the Pisces doing that? It's something to think about in May. Because what's also coming in here, especially at the beginning point of this Saturn transit for you, is the ability to make a lot of progress pretty quick. And this changes as Saturn progresses through Pisces. So as we get like later into Saturn and Pisces, it's going to become much more like spiritual and reflective. And there's already a little bit of that here with the transit. But in the beginning portion, you get quite a bit of waves or momentum to kind of like really cleanse out a lot of your systems. So this can manifest in very material ways, like cleaning houses. Okay, if you have like any like issue with your house, or if you own other houses or properties or something, those can be like cleaned out here, or can be like purified in some kind of way. Also happening at a more symbolic level. So previous internal or psychic houses you've kept, meditative states, happy places for you, or also then, yes, partnerships and relationships that have been a certain home or a certain constant can be challenged now by a need that surfaces to clean it up a little bit. So relationships that are based on loss, relationships that are based on some type of like equal footing that is actually holding you back, will probably come up in May to either be moved on from, cleansed a bit, or to be allowed to continue. Okay, you basically get to choose it completely. And there is also a great fast progress that can come in for Pisces in the month of May. So the Queen of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, the Magician card, the Ace of Swords, that's really productive. You can really harness this Saturnian energy in a very expansive way, interestingly. It's not usually what we think of with Saturn, because Saturn is antithesis to expansion. It's contraction, of course. But in Pisces, it kind of has a counter application here, where it's like your expansion can be solidified, or your parameters around expansion is where the contraction takes place. So you might have different rules coming into your life about how you expand, or about how you come into new territory, or how you change certain long-running stagnation in your life. There's going to be a major break of stagnation here, and that means a bit of a shakeup in relationships. But you have a very strong standing to do it. And I think that what you're bringing here, with the Magician and the Nine of Pentacles, let's just go ahead and get into your week to week there, because I want to talk about that combination. So week 1, Nine of Pentacles rooted down by the Magician. That's very good mental territory for you. Like that state of ease and abundance and reception represented by the Nine of Pentacles. Also long-running well-being, or there's somewhat of an esoteric interpretation of Nine of Pentacles that's kind of like, how has this person become so well? How has this person done it? Like, or is there some kind of magic there or something, especially with the Magician rooting it down? That's kind of funny. You could be having that as well, where people are like, oh my gosh, is that person like doing some kind of like spells or something? Or is that person like doing some kind of like weird magic to like get so far? And it's not even like that at all. That's interesting for the water signs to go through right now. It's basically just been a long time coming of putting one foot in front of the other, and also like karma at play. There is something of a higher power to it. But yeah, people might be used to you being small, incapable, and struggling. So when you so seemingly on the outside effortlessly move into this state of abundance, people don't know how you've done it, but you need it. And you need this sort of condition in your life of capable, wealthy even, or strong, option-filled circumstances to make the choices you need to make. So another thing that I want to tell you guys about that could be coming up in the first week is like being discouraged by how many options there are. It's like, oh my God, I have 8 different careers to choose from. How the heck do I even make a choice? Analysis paralysis is something you want to really be seeing as a blessing in disguise, because it is abundance. Analysis paralysis is abundance. And a lot of us are really conditioned to not like that, because most people don't have abundance and the choices are made for them, or they are like forced into like having a certain context or something. So there's a resentment that builds to people who aren't forced into a certain circumstance, or who aren't faced with only like 1 or maybe 2 at the most options of how to move forward. You have at least 8 here, okay? Or 9 with the Nine of Pentacles. And yeah, you've got to be a good decision maker. And it's not indicating stillness within the options. This is like you wielding all these options and making movements, making waves. And there is probably something that's really long running that is resolved by you here. So I just want to prepare you all for that. Week number 2, the Queen of Pentacles rooted down by the Two of Swords. It's kind of an irony, like all this earth energy, the Nine of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, yet you have to change so much, or you have to be a catalyst of transformation. In that way, there is a disharmony, because again, Nine of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles is like continuing the way things have been, having that foundation that is so customary. Yet you have to like really maybe change up the recipe within this foundation. So that can kind of feel lacking in guarantees, right? With the Two of Swords, it's like, I don't know if this is going to come through for me. I don't know if like my structures or my foundations are going to survive these necessary changes. But I want you guys to pay attention to how you're feeling in the second week about like the hoops you're having to jump through or the consistent routines in your life. If they feel like they burn you out, if you find that you get like really ill at a certain time of the workflow or a certain time of the month that you're going through, and like it's like routine and you have to do it like every week or every month and it like makes you feel bad, try to change that up here or try to shift that, because you're moving into the third week. Ace of Swords rooted down by the Temperance card. You are different. Okay, there's a different balance. There's a different hormonal regulation at play here too. Some of you are like aging here, but it's good. So for example, some people like, you know, getting through like the rough 20s or the rough 30s or the rough 60s. I don't know what it is. But like there's a body change or some type of hormonal change here. And I think that it's actually good. Okay, so it's like no longer getting like hormonal acne anymore. Okay, because of how your body is changing. Something relating to the body is important. Maybe you guys have had a lot of duty or a lot of like material external things you've had to be there for. And how is your body doing throughout that? The Temperance card has been coming up so much this month. And just in my daily draws and such, I find the Temperance card is just like here, there, and everywhere. So it's like, are we in balance? Are we in imbalance? Are we creating a good recipe here? The Magician and the Temperance card are the same in this way, where they both kind of deal a little bit with alchemy and mixing things together and achieving a certain like chemical balance, okay? And you have both of those cards here. So that's a big part of your month, is like the recipe of your life, the recipe of your business, like what different moving parts are together, the cogs, the wheels, the machines, the systems, the grids, okay, all of that stuff, the templates, the workflows. It's so debilitated collectively since about the time of early 2021. People got really just like out of sanity in some cases with like how systems in their lives work, how diet systems work, how sleep systems work. Very sixth house in shadow energy that we've had since then. And the third week of May might be giving you the physical experiences that you need to really change that. You have new ideas. Ace of Swords represents new ideas about bodily and health-oriented balance with the Temperance card. So that's Gemini season starting there. It's a good time for you guys to kick off a new wellness plan. Week 4, the Nine of Swords rooted down by the Page of Cups reversed, and things are not the same. Okay. And you can think a lot about how things won't ever be the same or how some of these chances can't come back, but try to meet it with like, thank goodness that I don't have to go through that again, or thank goodness that I dealt with that, or thank goodness that I faced the turmoil, or thank goodness I kind of understand a little bit more who that really is. Ooh, this is an interesting thing. Allowing the long-running history to determine more about somebody or about a circumstance in your life than your present knowing. So things change. People change. People who have once been very safe and comforting can now be detriments to our own healing process. Now, don't over-apply that. Just because I've said that, don't like over-apply it, but you know it if it's happening. Like, just like I was saying earlier, like that person was so supportive to me when I was in a like terrible breakup with no money and no support and all that debt and all that desperation. That person was so supportive to me. But here now, with all these wonderful, fresh new ideas and this sort of abundance of material well-being, it doesn't feel supportive anymore. It feels perhaps resentful, or it feels even in some Pisces case, it's not even resentful. It's like actually, I don't even know what the word is, but like it's something that can undermine the progress forward. So I want you guys to really see if you're having that in your life. And then also like not overestimating the externality of it, but understanding the internal meaning of that, like holding on to too much from a separate paradigm, or also like not being able to be upfront with people, or also letting people walk on you, or also not filtering things well, or again, over applying the history to the current. These are all things that at the personal level are things that need to be healed or worked on. Because when I'm coming to you in this reading saying that there could be people like this, yes, that's a shame and that's something that you want to change on the external, but it actually says even more about the internal situation. Perhaps there's too much isolation. Perhaps you're not getting out there. Perhaps in this more seemingly abundant phase, you haven't felt the need to like have more relationships. So the only relationships remaining are from the time of desperation, which is then a detriment or a threat to whatever about your reality feels abundant. So we have to get better or become more strong, I suppose, mathematicians or energy-maticians of how alchemists, I guess, of our own life and rebalance it. But it's really good, Pisces. I love the energy of this month because you're getting so much stronger. And a lot of you are coming out of May with at least one less major detraction or something that has solved or been resolved. So let's talk more about that in your extended. I'll get a central theme and two supporting themes, and we'll talk about resolving things, and we'll talk about also getting to more balance of body, mind, and spirit. And that'll be linked in the center of your screen and below. Have a great month, Pisces. It was great to read for you. Bye.